They said the mystery of Vottovaara would never be solved. But what scientists finally discovered on this mountain is chilling. On this ridge in northern Russia, nothing behaves the way it should. Stones balance on stone legs, trees twist backward, and when you reach the summit, even the wind stops. Locals call it Death Mountain. Scientists call it impossible. For decades, no one could agree what created this place, ritual, geology, or something else entirely. Tonight, the mystery of Vottovaara is finally solved, and what it reveals is far more chilling than legend. Vottovaara stands deep in the wilderness of Karelia, Russia, 417 meters high, silent, scarred, and surrounded by myth. It's not the tallest peak here, but it's the one that feels alive. Across its plateau, enormous boulders sit in impossible balance, perched on smaller stones, resting as if placed by careful hands. These are the Seids, sacred stones known throughout the Arctic. To the ancient Sami people, a Seid was no ordinary rock. It was a dwelling place for spirits, a bridge between worlds. Offerings were left at their base, antlers, food, carved idols, in exchange for favor or protection. When Russian researcher Sergei Simonyan visited the site in the 1970s, he counted hundreds of these formations. Some aligned with sunrise and sunset, others formed circles and corridors, like a vast ritual map carved into stone. He believed it was deliberate, a prehistoric sanctuary built by hands, long vanished. Geologists disagreed. They saw evidence of glacial retreat and fault fractures, a landscape shaped by the last ice age, not by human design. The debate has never ended. How could so many boulders balance so precisely, purely by chance? As you ascend the slopes, the forest itself begins to distort. Pines twist upon themselves, their trunks spiraling like ropes, some even curling backward toward the ground. Branches grow in circles, roots exposed, as if the mountain is trying to reclaim them. No bird calls, no rustling leaves, only the faint creak of living wood bending in slow motion. Scientists blame shallow soil and harsh wind exposure, but that theory fails to explain why it happens here, and only here. Botanists have measured abnormal growth patterns and even magnetic anomalies around the tree's roots, as if something beneath the soil were pulling them off balance. To the Sami, this was no coincidence. They said the trees were alive with spirit, the forest itself trying to speak. To modern visitors, it feels like a forest caught mid-scream, frozen, yet somehow still listening. Climb higher, and the mystery deepens. Cut into the northern slope is a formation that looks like a stairway, 12 giant steps leading upward into the sky. It's called the Stairway to Heaven. Geologists say it's the product of natural fractures in quartzite rock, split by ice and time. But to anyone standing there, the symmetry is too perfect. It looks carved, built with intent, a path meant for ceremony, not erosion. Nearby lies the well, a circular pool of still water surrounded by what appear to be rectangular stone blocks. To some, it's an ancient reservoir. To others, a natural depression shaped by freezing and thawing. The edges are sharp, the walls unnaturally smooth. Even geologists admit, under the right light, it looks constructed. Some researchers notice the layout resembles the stone-cut water basins of Perperikon in Bulgaria, a prehistoric sanctuary carved directly into bedrock more than 5,000 years ago. Both share the same rectangular symmetry and drainage grooves, as if built for ritual water collection. If that link is real, it would mean builders across ancient Europe once used identical techniques thousands of kilometers apart. Scattered among the megaliths are smooth, rounded stones, some perfectly spherical, others resting on natural pedestals. They mirror the mysterious stone spheres found in Bosnia and Costa Rica, artifacts still unexplained. Whether natural or shaped by forgotten hands, They suggest that Vottovaara was part of a larger ancient pattern, a network of sacred landscapes sharing the same language of geometry and stone. And then there's the silence. On the summit of Vottovaara, sound itself seems to vanish. No birds, no insects. Even footsteps feel muted, absorbed by the stone. Visitors describe it as a pressure, a weight on the chest, a low vibration inside the skull. Some hear a deep hum, too low to locate, as if the mountain were breathing. There's a scientific explanation. Vottovaara sits on a tectonic fault rich in quartzite. When stress builds beneath the surface, it can create faint electrical discharges and infrasound, vibrations below human hearing that can cause nausea, dizziness, and even feelings of dread. In other words, the mountain might literally be broadcasting fear. Far from this ridge, the story continues across Karelia. Along the shores of Lake Onega, archaeologists have discovered over 1,000 petroglyphs, ancient carvings of hunters, swans, boats, and strange humanoid figures with square heads. They're 5,000 to 6,000 years old. At sunset, when the rock glows red, the carvings come alive, as if the artists designed them to be seen only in the dying light. These carvings prove that prehistoric cultures in this region shaped stone with purpose, merging art, ritual, and astronomy into one. Maybe Vottovaara was part of that same sacred network. Maybe the mountain was chosen, not built, a natural cathedral where the earth itself performed the ceremony. Modern research has mapped every fault and fracture here. We now know Vottovaara is built of 2-billion-year-old quartzite, scarred by earthquakes 9,000 years ago. Its stones are glacial erratics, not monuments. Its steps are joint fractures, not stairways. The well in the wall, weathered rock, not architecture. But that doesn't make the mystery vanish. It makes it more profound. Because what nature created here, this illusion of design, this geometry of chaos, is powerful enough to inspire faith, ritual, and fear. The mountain doesn't need to be artificial to feel sacred. It simply is. And that's the chilling truth. Vottovaara is both a geological masterpiece and a spiritual mirror, a place where the physical world and human imagination overlap so completely that you can't tell where one ends and the other begins. The stones, the silence, the twisted trees, they're all real. But the meaning we see in them is ours. The mountain doesn't whisper. We do. Vottovaara's mystery isn't supernatural. It's psychological. Proof that stone and wind alone can imitate the divine. And sometimes, that illusion is enough to make us believe. Because Vottovaara doesn't need ghosts to haunt us. The mountain itself is the ghost, ancient, silent, and still watching. If you love places where science meets legend, where every answer hides another question, subscribe to the Unknown Files. There are still mountains out there that don't want to be understood, and we intend to climb every one of them.